It's Monday, February 9th, 2026. Our next continuous voters registration is on. Use the opportunity to register to vote. On the news this afternoon, protesters besiege National Assembly over electronic result transmission. Two major political parties keep Rivers by-elections. FCT Minister Wike says Rivers can deliver votes for President Tinubu without governor. Schools, markets open as IPOB ends Monday sit-at-home across Southeast. On the foreign scene, Hong Kong media tycoon Jimmy Lai sentenced to 20 years jail. I'm Ifechukwu Muonyili with the news. Now, protesters this Monday morning converged on the entrance of the National Assembly in Abuja for the Occupy National Assembly protest. The protest is against the backdrop of the Senate's position on the electronic transmission of election result. There was a heavy security presence at the scene, with personnel drawn from the Nigeria Police Force, the Nigeria Army, and the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. Although the Senate has issued several clarifications over reports that it rejected electronic transmission of results, the protesters insist that lawmakers must be explicit by including the phrase real-time electronic transmission in the proposed legislation. Members of civil society organizations, a handful of opposition African Democratic Congress members, and some women's groups are gathered at the entrance of the National Assembly for the protest. Have a listen to this.
Transmit it. Transmit to IRF. Transmit now. Transmit it. Don't transfer it. Transmit it.
Well, the police have already barricaded the entrance of the National Assembly. As you may know, there has been an outrage after the Senate last week passed the Electoral Act 2022 Repeal and Reenactment Amendment Bill 2026 through the third reading. In passing the bill, the upper chamber, however, did not approve the proposed amendment to Clause 60, subsection 3 of the bill, which sought to make the electronic transmission of election results mandatory. The rejected provision would have required presiding officers of the Independent National Electoral Commission to electronically transmit result from each polling unit to the IRF portal in real time after the prescribed form ECNA had been signed and stamped by the presiding officer and countersigned by candidates. Meanwhile, the Senate will hold an emergency plenary session on Tuesday. In a notice sent by the clerk of the Senate, Emmanuel Odo, the lawmakers were directed to convene at the National Assembly complex on the instruction of Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Odo urged all senators to attend the emergency sitting. No reason was stated for the meeting, but the development comes amid debate about the e-transmission of election result after the Electoral Act Amendment Bill passed the third reading at the Senate. And as reactions continue to trail that decision, the Senate President has offered an explanation. Speaking at a book launch in Abuja, Godswill Akpabio said the Senate did not stop electronic transmission of results. He said the only change they made was removing the words real time. According to him, real time means that in over 9 states where networks are not working because of insecurity, there will be no election result. Now, he also said the change was made to allow INEC to choose the best way to send results based on the situation on ground and security. He said the Senate will continue to make laws that help Nigerians and reflect what the people want. But that explanation has not gone down well with some political actors. A chieftain of the African Democratic Congress, Kenneth Okonkwo, has faulted Senate President Godswill Akpabio over the Electoral Act Amendment Bill controversy and is calling for his removal. Okonkwo, in an interview, accused Senate President Godswill Akpabio of acting against democracy, alleging that he is supporting practices that encourage election rigging, manipulation, and falsification. He said maintaining such provisions goes against the Supreme Court's position and described it as a move that undermines democracy.
2022 Act made it clear that electronic transmission is compulsory. Why would the legislature prevaricate on an issue that the Supreme Court had told you that it encourages electoral rigging, manipulation, and makes you an enemy of democracy? What it means is that Senator Godswill Akpabio has become an enemy of democracy by trying to maintain the same provision that Supreme Court told you that if you do, you are an enemy of democracy. That man is an enemy of democracy and should be removed if he doesn't resign.
Well, adding to the debate, a former Minister of Sport and Youth, Solomon Dalong, faulted the Senate over the controversy. Speaking in an interview, Dalong said the Senate has no reputation and so it cannot give Nigerians a credible or fair election with integrity. Dalong, who is also a member of the African Democratic Congress, believes that the party has people who can defeat President Bola Tinubu in the 2027 presidential election. It says beating President Tinubu in next year's poll requires a collective effort. We now move to Rivers State, where two major parties are missing from the ballot ahead of the February 21st by-elections in Kana Constituency 2 and Ahola East Constituency 2. The People's Democratic Party and the African Democratic Congress did not field candidates for the polls. This was confirmed from the list of candidates' nomination forms displayed by the Independent National Electoral Commission at its offices in Kana and Ahola East local government areas. INEC said the political parties that have so far shown interest in contesting the by-elections include the Action Alliance, All Progressives Congress, Allied People's Movement, Boot Party, Young Progressives Party, New Nigeria People's Party, and Zenith Labour Party. In a social media post, INEC management urged the affected political parties to visit its offices to verify the displayed nomination forms ahead of the election. In another development, the FCT minister is issuing a political warning. The FCT minister is warning Nigeria's political leaders against supporting betrayal, saying anyone who backs disloyalty will eventually suffer the consequences. Wike spoke on Saturday in Port Harcourt during the inauguration of the Rivers State Renewed Hope Ambassadors Secretariat. He says leaders, especially second-term governors and top office holders who support betrayers, will in turn be betrayed by those they plan to install as successors. The minister describes loyalty as a moral and spiritual principle, warning that unseen forces would hold those who encourage betrayal accountable.
Whether you're a senator, whether you're a House of Rep member, whether you're a minister, or whether you're a governor, and you support betrayers, people will continue to betray you in life. Every governor who's in second tenure, who has ambition to put a structure and is supporting betrayal, you will never survive it. Betrayal will follow you. From the day your successor comes in, my own took so many months, your own will start immediately that the president has been inaugurated. That is what the gods of the land have told me to tell all of you.
Wike also used the events to address the 2027 elections, saying supporters of President Bola Tinubu in Rivers State do not need the backing of the state governor to rally votes for the president.
I challenge everybody, let us come to Rivers State and learn. Our commitment is not by mouth. Our commitment is not by newspaper. Our commitment is show that yes, indeed, you are working for the President Ahmed Tinubu. We don't need to have a governor to mobilize for Mr. President. We don't need it.
We could praise local political groups for their mobilization effort, stressing that grassroots support rather than reliance on sitting officials will be key to ensuring Tinubu's re-election. Let's go on a quick break now. When we return, Ogoni residents raise concerns over slow cleanup as oil tank resumes. Do stay with us.
In a fast-changing world.
Tune in to 92.3
Youth Service Corps member in 2023. CSP Iringe Koko added that 3 suspects are currently in police custody and that investigations are ongoing. The indigenous people of Biafra has announced the permanent cancellation of the Monday sit-at-home across the southeast. It follows a directive from its leader, Nnamdi Kanu, with effect from today, Monday. The announcement was made by the group's spokesperson, Emma Powerful, in a statement issued on Sunday, which said the order came directly from Kanu. Now, the pro-Biafran group had declared the weekly sit-at-home in August 2021 to protest Kanu's rendition to Nigeria and subsequent incarceration, a move that often resulted in the shutdown of markets, schools, banks, and offices. Powerful said the new directive left no need, excuse, or justification for residents to remain indoors on Mondays, stressing that economic and social activities must resume fully. Well, away from that, Pope Leo XIV has condemned the recent wave of violent attacks across Nigeria, expressing sorrow over the loss of lives and calling on authorities to act decisively to protect citizens. The pontiff wrote in a post on his X handle that he received news of the attacks with strong concern. He hopes authorities will continue to work with determination to ensure the safety and protection of the life of every citizen. The Pope's statement comes amid a series of deadly attacks in several parts of the country, with Kwara State recording the most devastating incident. Between February 3rd and 4th, armed assailants attacked the villages of Woro and Nuku in Kayama local government area of Kwara State. In response, President Bola Tinubu ordered the deployment of additional troops to the area and declared a nationwide security emergency. An army battalion has since been sent to Kayama under a new military operation aimed at restoring order. On the diplomatic front, President Bola Tinubu will embark on a 2-day state visit to the United Kingdom from March 18 to 19, following an official invitation from King Charles III. The visit was announced on Sunday via a post on the official X handle of the British royal family, was stated that the Nigerian leader will be formally hosted by King and Queen Camilla at Windsor Castle. According to the post, Tinubu will be accompanied by his wife, Oluremi Tinubu, during the visit. Reacting to the announcement, the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, noted that it will be the first state visit by a Nigerian leader to the UK in 37 years. The last Nigerian leader to undertake a state visit to the UK was former military president General Ibrahim Babangida in 1989. We go straight to business now. The Bank of Industry has secured approval